Josh Kilpatrick, inspiration for the nation, celebrating people we feel good about. We got two people we feel good about. Joshua Michael King, or Josh King as we call him, and Karen Loftin. They've got a big event coming up on Monday, February the 19th at 3 p.m. Around the Time Magazine is presenting the 2024 Black History Month Living Legends Talent Showcase. And you say Monday, what a Monday. Well, that happens to be President's Day. So y'all ain't got no excuse. 3:00 in the afternoon at the Landmark Theater. And it should be great time. And we'll talk about that. There'll be movies, and we'll tell you how to get tickets and all of that. This week, Karen and Josh, was National Black HIV Awareness Day. And Karen, for that, this is how we met, actually, right? You doing coming out here trying to raise awareness.
Doing the work.
Josh, both you and Karen, very active in raising awareness about HIV. Talk to me about Black HIV Awareness Day, which was this past week, February 7th.
It's actually today. February 7th is the day, National HIV/AIDS Awareness Day, and it's still very much a relevant issue amongst African Americans, particularly African American women. The statistics have not changed much. It's just that other things have gotten in the way. The past years, you've had Corona as one of the big diseases and other things like that. But HIV is still very much a relevant disease in HIV in the Black community.
So today is Sunday, February 11th. Thank you for that. And Josh, what did you want to say about that?
So just to echo what Karen said, HIV is still running rampant in our community. We've come extreme miles as it relates to medication and technology, right? But we're still a little bit stuck when it comes to stigma. And because of the stigma, that really perpetuates this completely preventable virus. So folks like myself and Karen have been boots on the ground. It's been 23 years for me. Living with HIV, so it's important that we share our stories and encourage the community to get more involved so that we can lessen the stigma and, of course, lessen the amount of people who are becoming infected with the virus.
Yeah, I mean, and that's incredible, Josh. 23 years, and who would have thought, right? That now people can live, right?
Absolutely, George. There are people who are living with HIV much longer than I've even been alive. And so that's very telling of how far we've come. But when it comes to the stigma, as I said, it's still one of those taboo conversations that we don't have at the dinner table, that we're not necessarily having in our public schools and throughout our community. So it is crucial that we continue to press this issue so that young people are not becoming infected the way myself or Karen were.
Karen and Josh,
absolutely.
You say it's taboo, but is it more? So maybe I'll just say this: is it taboo, or is it that we just have not talked about it or thought about it in the ways that we should? In other words, we've made progress, and I don't want to be flip, but people might say, "Oh, is that something we should still be talking about in the way that we should?" Or, I mean, I'm sure you hear stuff like that.
Well, health is something that Black people should always be talking about. There's so many health disparities that affect our community. HIV, you don't hear as much about it because, like Josh said, there's been a lot of progress with medications. Even now, there's a lot of campaigns out there, U equals U, meaning that as long as the person is on their meds and their viral load, that means the amount of virus that's in their body at one particular time is at a certain number. That means that they're somewhat not infectious. That's what that it suggests. So there's all this progress scientifically that's coming out. However, there is no cure for it. Anytime there's no cure for something, it needs to still be a conversation about it.
And I know for you, Josh, this is also in line with other inequities within the Black community, particularly in Syracuse. I'll give you an opportunity to speak to some of those concerns.
Yeah, I think that when it comes to public health, as Karen mentioned, in the Black community, that is something that impacts us in a disproportionate rate, just like poverty. And we know that there are correlations between the two. So it's really important as the Black community that we are being accounted for and we are representing all facets of our culture and our community. And when I say it's taboo, it's almost as though we've lost some of the momentum that we used to
Right,
have
right,
with
right.
this conversation
Mhm.
because of the technological advances, the advances of medication, right? PrEP being a source of a lot of people's relief as it relates to HIV.
Right.
Something as simple as taking a pill now has lessened the conversation and created a different kind of impact. But keeping in mind that that stigma still remains and people are still frightened of HIV and people with HIV. So it's really important that we continue to push this conversation within our own community and address things from within.
We used to talk about, by the way, we got Josh King and Karen Loftin. By the way, Josh has his own radio show,
Yes.
unapologetically Josh, the up from the upright, straight independent radio. We should, give him his love and flowers. But there used to be an emphasis on everybody getting tested, and one of the groups that we know that has seen an increase over the years is Black women in particular. Is that still the case? I remember at one point we were talking about Black women seeing one of the largest increases. Is that still true?
I would suspect that it may be just as relevant. I haven't personally myself been paying attention to the numbers, just like you said, for a lot of reasons. Not much has changed in that area. However, I wouldn't expect it to have changed much.
Yeah. All right. So, and I wanted to give you two opportunity to speak to the work you're doing. I know there was a time when we wanted everyone to get tested, but that's the only way you can know for sure, right?
You should, like I said, you should always want to get tested. You should always want to promote healthy checkups regarding all types of issues. And that's where awareness is important. And this is where, where Josh was talking about it being taboo. There should be nothing off limits when we're talking about our health and, and what has impacted us in a great way. And, and how we can protect younger people coming behind us from becoming infected. As long as there's a risk, there should be always an opportunity to have the conversation. And then there should always be regular testing as well. Because if people are not regularly getting tested, that means people are positive longer than they need to be before they can actually start initiating some sort of treatment. And that puts the community as a whole at a risk because you have family members that are now possibly getting sick, dying, and it affects everyone. So, HIV is still relevant that it affects the whole community.
All right.
Absolutely. And one new infection is one too many.
Yes.
When it comes down to the numbers, as it relates to sexually transmitted infections, right now, women are seeing an uptick in syphilis cases throughout New York State. And what that's attributed to has always, in my opinion, boiled down to the stigma and having these healthy conversations and communicating woman to woman, man to woman, however that looks throughout our community. And again, it disproportionately affects Black people.
All
So
right.
as a man, it's important to stay on top of our health as well as having these conversations with Black women.
Appreciate that. And the two organizations in town, Faces at the Syracuse Community Connections, as well as
ACR Health, I believe.
Yeah, ACR Health. And I was gonna, Lisa be mad at me if I didn't say ACR Health. ACR Health and Faces. I'm just basically, but if you want more information about all of that, and I didn't invite these guys on here to specifically talk about that, but I couldn't help since this past week, Karen, we celebrated and commemorated National Black HIV/AIDS Awareness Day.
And we're still experts on the subject. So.
All right. So good. Right. That's why I felt like I could just do that because I know y'all in the mix.
Always ready.
Yeah. All right, so but you're here to talk about the Black History Living Legends Talent Showcase. What are we gonna what are we gonna find on February 19th at the Landmark Theater?
So February 19th is it's a showcase that creates a platform for a deposit, an educational, encouraging social deposit to be put into the African American community. And it acts as a dual capacity in that it allows a place and a platform for the expression of young people to get their energy out creatively. So it's always good, there's a lot of creative genius in all communities, but particularly in the Black community, it comes through arts and entertainment. And Around the Town magazine has just chosen an ATM production to be that avenue to help for them to express it on a stage. So it's just a way to allow our young people to show us who they are. We learn a lot of things when we listen to young kids singing a song or rapping, right? When our young people are allowed to express themselves. So it's just a chance for us to hear them.
So you're gonna show a movie, The Wiz,
Yes,
with Diana Ross and Michael Jackson
and Nipsey Russell. Don't
Richard
forget
Pryor and Nipsey Russell, right?
Yes.
You're gonna do that, and then there'll also be a panel discussion as well.
There will. So some of my expected guests are always and have been leaders in the community of African American ethnicity. And I don't want to give the names out. I want you to come to the show and see. But they're people in our community that we consider great depositors. They put the work in.
Yeah.
They put the work in.
Well, I'm seeing people like judges and other kind of.
That's right. That's right. So they've always been good supporters of Around the Town magazines and its activities. They believe in the mission to deposit, always create an opportunity to make a deposit, because if our young people are products if young people are products of their community, then we have to start looking at ourselves at some point.
No, you go ahead.
Yeah, so collectively we want to pull those people out of the community and put them in a place where the young people that are not getting that resource, not being connected to that resource, is being connected. And that's the engagement portion of our event, to engage the young people that's lacking so they can know the people that are making deposits and know the people in their community that's for them. A lot of our young people don't know who their elected officials are coming out of high school. They don't know who their major contributors are in other areas. So I think it's just an important way for them to get to know that.
And Josh, you what will you be doing at the event as well?
So unapologetically, Josh from Straight Independent Radio and Multimedia Group will be hosting this event now. I think this makes my third time hosting.
Yes.
I think Karen is being super modest in what it is that they do at Around the Town magazine. So I would, it would really, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention, how active she is in the community and the purpose behind choosing President's Day on a day where there isn't typically much engagement or things going on that revolve around the young people. So this was her nod at giving them an opportunity to not only have a platform to showcase their talents and their skills, but to also be educated, to meet some of the people that they may not know. As Karen calls them depositors, I call them living legends. These are the folks that help make our community go around, whether we're talking about judges or we're talking about Karen or myself, right? These movers and shakers who really make endless deposits in the community. So thank you, Karen, for the opportunity to be the host, and thank you for the work that you continue to do regardless of who's watching. So thank you.
And tickets are available at Ticketmaster.com. How much are the tickets?
Yes, tickets are $10 for anyone 18 and under and $20 for adults. So buy your tickets. We expect you to tell all your friends. And if you don't even feel like you want to attend or can attend, buy a block of tickets for some community kids that may not be able to afford it. It's really to encourage, Black social development. We want to encourage families engaging downtown. There's not many venues downtown that are for the average, quote unquote, air quotes, young African American family. So we want, school is out, and we want to provide an opportunity for those that are marginalized and usually disproportionately disadvantaged to be able to come and enjoy a show.
Yeah, what I'm hearing you say is that you want the youth in this community to feel honored, supported, validated, and to know that this community is the Landmark Theater is theirs too, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely. Every community needs a downtown. Every community has to have a core place where the community converges, and that's where our children learn how to develop socially. So there's always that component with an A10 production. That's our deposit. That's our deposit. Yes, we're having a good time. We're wrapping it up like a nice piece of cake, it's making it real nice and sweet and fun, but it's always the hope and desire of an A10
what kind
production.
of cake though, Karen? What kind of cake? For real,
they're going to walk out with encouragement, education, engagement, all those things that they can withdraw from when they're typically out in the world. Raise a child as they should go, so they can be able to withdraw from it, and that's what an ATM production is. We make deposits around here, George. We trying to make deposits into our young people.
And our young people need it, right?
They need it.
Listen, with the Syracuse Reads Plus, with the literacy in our community and the challenge that's before us, we need every opportunity that exists to showcase, honor, and provide space for young people to feel supported, loved, and deposited, right? That's what you.
Yes, that's right. Make a deposit. Yes.
All right. What else do we need to know before we give people all the information they need?
That we will take any donations. We want to create prizes for young people. There may be young people often there that they might get the nerve to want to perform on stage and tap into their creative opportunity, and we want to be able to provide them with some gift cards. Any type of donation to help us help the community is good.
All right, so how do they do that?
I have a personal cash app, a $ATMPROD. Josh, do you have a venue?
I think the best way to accomplish that would be to reach out to Karen or myself through Facebook, Messenger, or send us an email, maskingandco2013@gmail.com. Again, I'm just the host, so all of this really is pressing and pushing through Miss Karen Loftin.
We need everybody, whatever you can offer. We can't. I can't do it by myself. I don't want to do it alone. This is the first time that I'm really broadcasting it so much. The spirit is telling me to do that. It's time to incorporate everyone and everybody. God has blessed me to be working with some of these kids for the last 15 years, making a deposit into them. And I told them a long time ago, I'm just grateful they survived, because we've lost some. I'm grateful that they're survived. So it's really going to be celebratory because, like I said, I've been working with some of these young people for 15 years, and now they're 30, late 20s. That's a big chunk of people's lives. And I've stood next to them in funerals and, watched them cry over a lot of their friends. And so I'm just happy that the ones that have made it.
All right. Support a sister. Karen Loftin, Around the Town magazine, hosted by Josh King. It's February 19th. It's the Black History Month Living Legends.
That's right.
Showcase. February 19th, 3 o'clock. You got a movie, you got a panel, and you got a talent show. And tickets available at Ticketmaster.com. All right.
Landmark Theater box office.
And the Landmark Theater box office. And you can reach out to Karen or Josh on Facebook Messenger to find out how you can support them as well. And
Yes.
yeah, that's
Around the Town Magazine at gmail.com.
Around the Town Magazine at gmail.com.
Yes.
All right, beautiful people. So glad that you could join us on the program today. Continued good work in the community, and we wish the event success. Mark your calendars. It's the Black History Month Living Legends Talent Showcase. February 19th, 3 o'clock at the Landmark Theater. Tickets at the Landmark Theater or Ticketmaster.com.
That's right. Show up.
Inspiration for the nation.